This episode of Bourbon on Ice, presented by your friend Frosty and your bartender, Mike Whiskey, is brought to you by the Cape Media Center of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The views and opinions expressed during this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the Cape Media Center. Listener discretion is advised.
I think we're being quiet because we're both trying to think of something Halloween appropriate to say.
Boo!
I think we'll have to go with that.
It's the best we got.
It's the best we got, and that's kind of sad.
That is really sad. Roll the music!
That'll save us.
Welcome, listeners, to Bourbon on Ice.
Where we talk about everything nerdy, like gentlemen.
Join us every week for our local Cape Cod take on, well, everything.
Laugh, cry, be confused, and laugh some more.
I'm your friend Frosty.
And I'm your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
Stay tuned. You think they'll like the episode?
Oh, they'll definitely love it.
Welcome to a spooky, scary episode of Bourbon on Ice, where we discuss all things nerdy.
Like gentlemen.
Exactly. That's your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
And you're my friend Frosty.
I am. It's wonderful to be back, everyone. And today is an extra special episode.
Why is it extra special?
Because we're going to discuss something ridiculous, inane, pointless, and retro that no one in their right mind cares about. It's my kind of jam.
All right, what are we talking about?
I just love that you're just going with this, like, yep, yeah, that's what we do here.
This is par for the course.
That's what he does. That's what he forces me to do.
Send help.
I'm so sad that this month is almost over. I love autumn, and October is my favorite. And then as soon as this month turns over, now it's going to be like Lifetime presents Christmas out by the Candy Cottage.
It's a wonderful life.
And it's a wonderful life. And it's a wonderful life. It'll play over and over.
Yes, it will. You know, that was a box office failure when it came out.
I know. Isn't that delicious? I love how movies that were supposedly going to be the next great thing bombed, but then became successful anyway.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 28th, and that means that 44 years ago today, in 1977, something premiered. Grinch Night.
You told me. You've been talking about it all week.
Leading up to this moment,
Leading
and
up
I am
to this
so
moment.
happy. That's it, people. You can't escape it. It's another episode of the Cape Cod Nerd Word.
We're diving deep for this one.
Put on the helmets and get the spelunking rope.
Get your tinfoil hat too.
What is it? Okay, let's start with that. What? Grinch Night. It's Grinch Night, officially known as Halloween is Grinch Night, is a 1977 animated television special that serves as a prequel to Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I know! It's known as It's Grinch Night on promotional material like cassettes. But who cares? Splitting hairs. It premiered on October 28th. Hey, that's today, in 1977. So 44 years ago, give or take a few days or months. But there it is. Years ago, and I will be damned if I ever remember where. Someone put this on. If I had to really, really test this, I think it was back in elementary school when the teacher just wanted us all to shut up in the month of October and played this thing for us. Wasn't that the greatest day
Those
always?
were the best days. Like the teacher's hungover, so here, watch a movie.
You see the big stand with the television being wheeled into the room. You're like, yay! It doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be horrible. We don't care.
Yeah, it was usually horrible. Unless it was like Reading Rainbow was really cool.
Or Eyewitness.
Yeah.
They have a really great museum opening. Dun, da, 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 da. Dun, da, 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 da. And you didn't care. It's like, this episode is going to be all about bones. Who cares? It's Eyewitness.
Or Magic School Bus.
Beep, 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 beep.
With a frizz? No way.
Cruising on down Main Street, we are on a drug trip and have been kidnapped.
What's wrong with you?
The woman was a straight-up kidnapper. Let's just be blunt here. If it wasn't for the fact that she actually brought them all back every time, then that would be a really dark series. They relaunched it. It did not do well.
No.
Okay. You know what else is horrifying? Grinch Night. It is not a book.
Why.
It is not a book. I'm just going to say that right now.
It's not a Dr. Seuss book?
No, it's an original, unlike the 1966 animated movie with Boris Karloff based off the 1957 Dr. Seuss book. I did my research.
I guess so.
Whereas that one was all about, Christmas. This one was all about Halloween, or more prudently put, Grinch Night.
Listen, guys, I'm on as just much as rad as you are.
Did you bring another apple? It's not even covered in caramel for the Halloween season.
Such sacrilege, I know.
I could really use one. Ever since the diabetes set in, I have not had a candied apple, and I'm just like, ah. Wait, you know what? I could risk it.
I don't know if you have to risk it. I think you could make your own
My mouth is watering.
sugar-free caramel apple.
My mouth is literally watering.
I think you could do it.
No, episode first. Then we'll do it. Okay. All right, so this is a roughly half-hour television special that premiered
I tried.
on... You tried. You tried to derail me. You almost got away with it. Okay, this premiered on ABC, and for years it got shopped around to other networks, including CBS, TNT, and even Cartoon Network. Why? Because the world of television needs pure insanity. It includes 10 original songs and one reprise, including I Wouldn't Go Out on a Night Like This, in which the amount of money that someone wouldn't go out steadily increases. It starts for $1.50, and then by the end of it, it's $6.50. And the aptly named song, Grinch Is Gonna Get You. Wonder
That's
what that,
mildly horrifying.
isn't it? And the eyebrow song.
You know, I'm starting to recognize a pattern with you.
I either don't care or care 110 crazy percent.
No. We've got what was the movie the other day? Mad World or
Cool World.
Cool World the other day, which was a drug trip.
Yeah.
And now we've got Grinch Night, which is another drug trip.
Says a lot about me.
It does.
It says a lot about my upbringing. and when I was mentioning this song, the eyebrow song, I need to point out it wasn't a metaphor. It's literally about the Grinch's eyebrows,
Okay.
which are finer than any drag queen or female R&B singers on the face of this earth. So yes, this movie is freaking trippy.
Was that a quote?
No.
Oh.
So, what's it all about, you ask?
What's it all about?
For a second there, I thought I was going to have to clear my throat. Got him trying, people. Okay, so I'm going to put this as ridiculous
yes, ladies
as possible.
and gentlemen, he can be taught.
I'm going to put this as ridiculous as possible. Not concisely, ridiculous. Once a year, down in Whoville, the sour, sweet wind begins to blow. As soon as this happens, everyone in Whoville packs up and barricades themselves inside their houses at once because, as apparently everyone knows, when the sour, sweet wind howls on the wrong side of the tree stumps by the pond, it wakes up the gree-grumps inside the trees, and they start growling, which causes the pond to start churning for some reason, and that causes the Hackencracks to start yowling. Can I just point out Whoville is horrible? They're just like random-ass monsters hanging out all over the place. And there's this horrible little green man living on a mountain nearby that hates everyone. Why does anyone live here? It's like Florida.
I'm just reminded of the nursery rhyme. Why did she swallow the fly?
Perhaps she'll die.
She swallowed
the fly.
She swallowed the spider to catch the
fly.
fly. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider. Catch the fly.
She swallowed the cat, the dog to catch the cat to catch the spider to catch the fly, and we don't know why she swallowed that fly, because she's going to die because she's an idiot. I also know she swallowed a horse. I don't know what the logic in that one was, but if you are following this song, there's no logic in it. Do we teach children this crap anymore? No.
I don't know.
No, now we teach them songs about sharing.
I remember my book. I had a book of that, and it was great because it was a little puppet, and you'd put the little stuffed animal of each one into the old woman as you read the book.
That's great. That is freaking awesome. Sick and awesome.
And at the end, you just push them all out.
Hey kids, it's projectile vomiting. All right, now, all of this said combined noise annoys the Grinch, who hears it up on the mountaintop, And in a supremely pissy mood, the Grinch gets his paraphernalia wagon, hitches it to his poor old dog, Max, and drives it down to Whoville, where he unleashes it on the poor town and nearly destroys the place year after year. Again, this is an animated family special, so much so that the hero of the show, a little child named Euchariah, he goes out to use the outhouse, but the show doesn't call it the outhouse. It's referred to as the euphemism. I have to go use the euphemism. Where's Euchariah? He went to the euphemism. He gets lost, and he can't find he says, where is the euphemism? The end of it, he goes back to town. Like, why?
That's
great, isn't it?
That's odd.
Okay. This is an animated family presentation. Just keep all of that in mind. Anyway, Euchariah. Yes, that's his name. No Cindy Lou Who this time around. It's Euchariah. Accidentally gets blown away by the sour sweet winds when he goes out to use the euphemism and ends up on the mountainside where he encounters the Grinch.
Dun dun dun.
I should also point out that I feel a bit of a bond with Euchariah. He has astigmatism.
Oh.
They make a point out of that. It gets referenced a lot. As a kid, I had no idea what that was, but I do now. And I'm amazed that they went out of their way to make that a plot point for a horrifying children's cartoon. He literally says, "I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't see you without my glasses on. You see, I suffer from an astigmatism. That's when parts of light gather within the eye upon the cornea."
And then he's cut off.
Yes, the Grinch basically says, "Shut up, no one cares." The Grinch riding this paraphernalia wagon, like whipping his poor dog as he's going.
Poor Max.
Poor Max. Max gets a song.
Max gets
a song as he's walking sadly down the mountain, singing to himself, "Why does my life suck?"
What is this movie?
It's Grinch Night.
What is this movie?
It's Grinch Night.
You already said
As I've said, it bears repeating. Okay.
The Cape Media Center, located in Dennisport, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, is a non-profit community media center and the public access TV station for the towns of Barnstable, Yarmouth, Dennis, Harwich, and Chatham. Our mission is to build community through media, enhance democratic communication, and facilitate free expression by providing these towns with a state-of-the-art media resource center. Members can become trained in our video and audio equipment and produce their own media content. Membership includes training classes, access to our field equipment, studios and facility, as well as airtime. Podcasters and music producers can share their content on our website. For more information, visit capemedia.org.
This episode of Bourbon on Ice is brought to you by Market Street Bookshop in Mashpee Commons, located at 31 Market Street, Mashpee, Massachusetts. Embrace diversity and find support for local authors and artists at the Market Street Bookshop, where your favorite new read is just a browse away. For more information, give them a call at 508-539-6985. Okay, back to the plot of this ridiculous-ass movie that we're talking about. Whiskey is tied to a chair and unable to call for help. I smashed his phone. There's no getting out of this.
You know how the internet meme is to send nudes?
Yours is send help.
No. Mine is send dudes.
What?
Send dudes, because it rhymes.
Okay.
And I need burly, strapping men to get me out of these bonds.
I'm wondering how this would not badly affect
and
me.
Distract Frosty.
Okay, there we go. There it is. I love that. Yes, I am gay. We do have to bring that up once an episode.
It's right here on the docket. It's mandatory.
Talk about nerdy stuff. Remind audience Frosty is gay. Oh, also Whiskey is now a fiancé. He is not just a person. He is a fiancé now.
I'm glad I'm not just a person.
Before you were, and it was kind of boring. Now you are someone. Okay, back to talking about Grinch Night. Sorry, people. If you thought I was going to stop, I'm not going to. Why is this movie that came out 44 years ago, this Halloween special, so Halloweenish and horrifying? Here's why. Now, the kid Euchariah crosses paths with the Grinch, and he decides the thing to do is to, cross paths with the Grinch and stall him until the sour sweet wind ends. Grinch Night will end, and the Grinch will have to return home. I have no idea why, but that's the rule. I mean, he could just stay and cause more misery, but storyline. So after annoying the Grinch into paying attention to him, Euchariah is forced to subject himself to the full force of the paraphernalia wagon. All sorts of psychedelic things emerge from it, and the kid winds up pulled into some kind of strange alternate dimension full of monsters, demons, ghosts, all of which pursue the boy, chanting his name, and singing, of course, because it is Dr. Seuss. Euchariah, Euchariah, Grinch is gonna getcha, Grinch is gonna getcha. This is a family special on primetime.
They couldn't have found a better name to make rhymes with than Euchariah.
Joe. What, things rhyme with Joe?
I know.
There we go. At long last,
I hate you.
at long last, Euchariah steps out of the wagon and informs the Grinch that the wind has stopped, the animals are all calming down, and the sun is coming up. So the Grinch has to go home, so yay! Again, the rule, for some reason. And the Grinch goes home, minus his dog Max, who has decided to abandon the Grinch and go home with Euchariah, thus creating a continuity error that will only annoy persnickety nitpickers like me. Everyone in town celebrates and sings a merry song about the Grinch going away, but the Grinch stalks up the hill, pulling the wagon on his own, laughing wickedly about how he'll be back one day because evil never dies. Where can this be found? It can be found all over the internet. Pieces or the whole thing. It can be found on DVD and VHS. The question is, why would anyone want to watch this?
For the sheer novelty.
For the sheer novelty, because weirdness. I mean, I fully intend to watch this again, but be as high as a kite. There's like a dispensary every 5 inches out here. Or maybe very drunk. Either way, like, maybe I'll gain perspective on it this time.
Like a Pink Floyd album.
Hey, if there's a rainbow on the cover of the album, then you have to listen to it high. I don't make the rules, it's there.
Yeah.
It'll sound better that way. I don't know why. But this also includes Imagine Dragons Evolver. And anything by Reading Rainbow. Yeah, I went there. Now, just a little trivia about this trivial thing. Boris Karloff was the voice of the Grinch and the narrator of most of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He was dead by the time this came out, unfortunately, so he couldn't reprise the voice. That is literally the only reason. And he was replaced by Hans Kornried, who, unfortunately, also died after doing this.
Oh, geez.
I know. There were actually 4 television specials about the Grinch.
In the works?
No, out. And none of them contained, to my knowledge, none of them contained the same voice. Hans Conried died, so he didn't get to do the next one. And the person after that one was diagnosed with cancer, so he didn't get to do the last one.
Wow.
So there's never been the same Grinch twice, from what I've heard. I have not confirmed that entirely. But it would make sense. The Curse of the Grinch.
Yeah. Look out, Jim Carrey.
We must protect Jim Carrey. He's a national treasure. And oh my gosh, we didn't mention it weeks ago, but we should have. Angela Lansbury passed.
Oh, no.
I know, Mrs. Potts, Mrs. Lovett. Those are Broadway references.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jessica Fletcher from Moida, she wrote. I think it's funny that, like, she spent the entire run of that show arresting every single friend in her town. Like, she would go places to meet with old friends, and the friends would be committing murders, and she'd have them arrested. Why is she alive? Like, why did no one kill her? She's awful. She's an awful human being. Jessica Fletcher. Yeah. Been made for really great television. Now, the little animated short, it incorporated scenes and elements from other Dr. Seuss books, including Oh, the Places You'll Go and Oh, the Things You Can Think. The Thinks You Can Think. Some books that weren't even out at the time of this. And like I said, this was the 70s. So they had time.
Yeah.
And it's a special. So it's included on more than one DVD relating to said Grinch as a special feature. I'm not entirely sure which ones, but I do know that it has been found on certain collaboration albums because apparently someone would take the time to put all of those together.
Of course they would.
Yes, of course they would. Why wouldn't they? I will also point out one more ridiculous thing. And hang on, to the internet away. I like saying that, to the internet away.
While you're looking that up,
Go ahead.
You know, Mama Whiskey loves How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So I'm wondering if I should have her watch this.
You should. You should. Like I said, it's just out there. You can find it. It's just out there. Anyway, Euchariah crosses paths with the Grinch when the Grinch is trying to hunt down a creature, the Wuzzy Woozoo, which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest phrases you can possibly utter. Wuzzy Woozoo. It sounds completely dirty and inappropriate. And just use it in a sentence and it sounds dirty. It's like, what will you be having to drink tonight? I'm going to have a Wuzzy Woozoo.
Right up there with Jabberwocky.
So, I see you and that chick hooked up last night. Uh-huh, she gave me a Wuzzy Woozoo.
Please stop.
Oh, I stubbed my toe. Oh, Wuzzy Woozoo.
Please stop.
I dare you to use that phrase I apologize for my use of the word chick. I do apologize for that. But do not stop using Wuzzy Woozoo. Put it into the lexicon again.
It was never in the lexicon for a good reason.
Wuzzy Woozoo. Do you think we could rename the show the Wuzzy Woozoo Show? Just come up with random facts about it. Hang on, I'm actually going to turn this around now. That's what that is a picture of the Wuzzy Woozoo.
All right.
in the little boy in orange, that's Euchariah. The
All
astigmatism. Yep. And yes, people, I assure you this is not just one gigantic fever dream. Someone sat down and put this entire thing to pen and ink, and then they put it on television.
But it was a fever dream first. Let's be
completely honest.
Yeah.
So he stole Christmas. He invaded Halloween. Thank heavens there wasn't an Easter special or a 4th of July special.
Are you being sarcastic? Are you going to hit us with that now?
Wondering. No, there isn't one. There couldn't possibly be one. No. And I'm not looking it up because I know there isn't one. I'm assuming there isn't. I'm looking it up.
There we go.
Dr.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I'm curious now. Dr. Seuss Easter special. Nope, there's no such thing. Thank heavens.
Thank goodness. Now stop looking. Get away from the keyboard.
No, never. But because that did remind me of something. While we were talking about 4th of July, there isn't one, but there is a very dark one. He was actually one of the darkest, most prolific writers out there when you think about it. Some of his stuff was very poignant. It was one that I watched in school years ago, and that was it. The Butter Battle Book. This came out by Dr. Seuss. It was written by him and published in 1984, and it was, bluntly put, an anti-war story. And I saw this the way I experienced this the way most children experience that thing. The teacher is once again, not going to do anything today, so is putting on a movie.
Yeah.
And they had an animated special of the Butter Battle Book. I don't remember the characters very well, but I do remember pretty much the entire plot. And it sounds ridiculous, but when you get down to the core, it's quite horrifying. There is a town, and what do? They put their butter on the top side of bread to eat it, but the town next door puts their butter on the bottom side of the bread. Apparently, this is a giant frickin' sore in each of their saddles, so they build a wall between the two towns.
Sounds like Gulliver's Travels.
It says very bluntly, we are not going to associate with that type of person over there. They say, those people are bad. They're wrong. They basically go right up to saying, they're blasphemous and basically heretics. But then they have the father, who's basically the main character, of a boy. He's telling his son the story. What do I do, son? I patrol the border, and I have this stick where I shake it at them. got like a no finger on it. But one of the days, someone threw something and broke my stick. So they gave me a weapon. So I took that out to the wall, but the guy on the other side of the wall, who has my job, they gave him the same weapon. So I went back to our scientists and they gave me a bigger weapon. And this is Dr. Seuss, so we're talking about like, it's got like mechanical arms that throw paint or eggs, but they're getting bigger and bigger. And finally we get down to the point where the wall has gotten bigger and the people are fleeing for their lives in both towns. And now we've come down to this. The scientists in the butter on the top of the bread town give the father a bomb, an honest-to-God bomb that can be held in his fingers. Once you drop it, an atomic blast will happen and it will kill everything on that side of the wall. Everyone in his town retreats to underground bomb shelters, and he has the illustrious task of walking to the wall to throw it over. And he stands there, and his son says, "Dad, what are you doing?" He said, "Son, you're going to witness me wipe this town of butter on the bottom side of the bread people off the face of this earth." Except he then looks over, and on the opposite side, there's the other guy, and he's got the bomb too. And he bluntly says, "If you throw that, I'll throw this one." And they stand there, tense, holding their bombs, just looking at each other. And the son says, "Dad, what's going to happen?" And the book literally ends with the father saying, "I don't know, son, but we'll have to wait and see." Another Dr. Seuss classic, everyone. Isn't it cheery? Let's talk about elephants now. And stealing Christmas.
History may not repeat itself, but it does rhyme.
Mutually assured destruction. What a cheery topic for a children's book, an illustrated children's book, which then gets made into an animated movie.
Yeah.
Why would someone do something like that? To educate everyone? To tell them, whiny ass, bitchy problems like that should not blow out of proportion and people literally want to murder each other? Genocide? Word of the day, people. Let's all spell genocide. Genocide.
I'm not sure we're allowed to say that.
Well, that was basically it.
No, I mean like on YouTube or other platforms.
Okay, fine. I'll bleep that word out.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they would. It was so depressing, and all the other children around are like bored, but me, when I was finished with this, I was horrified.
Yeah.
Horrified. Okay. Well,
you told that story really well, though. I was riveted. I was glued to my seat.
I could tell, because that was news to you. I could tell that was news to you. And yes, I'm looking back at it now. It's called The Zooks. The Ukes live on one side, and the Zooks live on the other side.
Yeah.
Who's gonna drop it? Will you or will he? Be patient. We'll see. We will see. Ugh. I gotta go hug someone, because I feel like cold and clammy now.
No, go get off of me.
How could you?
I had to.
I can't believe you.
You gave me no choice.
It's unthinkable.
And yet, I thought it.
I can't believe it.
Believe it.
You think you know a guy.
Or maybe you never knew me at all.
How could you?
How can you not?
Why? Just tell me, Whiskey, why?
That depends. What exactly are we talking about?
I thought you knew.
Oh, not a clue.
Oh. Well, this is awkward. Welcome back to the land of the living. We got really dark there.
Yeah.
All entirely my fault, so I say that this episode was a complete success.
Let's go a little bit brighter with Dia de los Muertos.
There's that too.
Yeah.
Day of dead people. Fleshless, rotting corpses crawling from their graves.
Where we honor our dead.
Oh, right, that's what we do.
Yes.
Not the thing I was thinking of.
Never mind.
I can make anything dark. It's kind of like my superpower. So, go on, tell me a bit about it.
Dia de los Muertos? Oh.
Yes, go ahead. You take this part.
Oh, man. I am not qualified for this at all.
Oh, well. Take a swing.
All I know is from the movies and, like, the Book of Life and What is it? Coco.
I love that movie so much.
I think
Kirk has his guitar hanging on the wall of his house.
I'm gonna give us a hot take and say The Book of Life was better.
Frosty grows 20 feet tall. Lightning flashes. How dare you. It's comparable. I will say it's comparable. I mean, I just watched it the other night. A lot more singing, I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the point, though, that there was an embargo on music in one of them. I like the idea, basically, that it shows that death is not a horrifying thing. It's a wondrous thing full of joy.
It's the next step. The next step of the journey.
It is.
And no one's ever really gone because we remember them.
Except the people that we don't remember who suffer a fate worse than death. Which they show in both movies.
Yeah.
See, I made it dark again.
Damn it, Frosty.
This is me we're talking about. It's like, is there a funeral around? No? Send Frosty. He'll affect the vibe.
We'll jerk a tear out of Frosty. Remember me.
Someday I just want to bring a teacup with me. People say, what is that for? It's for collecting the tears of others. It's delicious.
Salty.
Yeah. Not good for sodium, though. Ladies and gentlemen, October is almost over, so we encourage you to get out there and ween. Ween it up. Merry ween. I like saying it. It makes people uncomfortable, and it sounds hysterical.
We're all weenies.
I've got a movie marathon to plan, and we have a game night to get to.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, we should play the Haunted Mansion game again.
Ooh, that one was fun.
They will be so unhappy with us for inflicting that upon them.
Maybe. So long as I don't pull any shenanigans like the incident.
The incident. Which we still haven't talked about, which we will dedicate an episode to.
We will, but I thought you weren't allowed to talk about it without someone present.
That's right.
So we'll get them in.
We'll get them in.
And we'll talk about
the incident. That's an ominous note to end this episode on. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm your friend Frosty.
And I'm your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
And as always, have a cold one on us.
This podcast was recorded at and produced by Cape Media Center on Cape Cod, Massachusetts by podcasting duo Mike Whiskey and your friend Frosty. All music and sound credits go to soundstripe.com. Special thanks to Jamie Horton, Emily Tulloch, Gabrielle Rawson. For more information on Bourbon on Ice, visit our social media page at twitter.com/whiskeyfrosty. For more information on Cape Media Center, visit capemedia.org. For more listening options and a variety of podcasting entertainment, visit our hosts at buzzsprout.com and capemediacenter.org.